Alright, starting off this review, we do got the last one in the playlist. We do got the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Groot Deluxe figure. This figure is a massive figure. I didn't expect him to be so big, if I'm being honest. First time we saw him in this design was in the Guardian Special. He does look amazing. I do like all the texture and design that we have for him. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this figure review. And to the right a little bit, let's go ahead and put it on this side of the screen. Let's go ahead and show the first time we saw this Groot, this big and muscular and bulky, was in the Guardian Special. I was wondering if they were ever going to release a figure for this guy. I was kind of assuming it would have came out like a month or two after the Guardian Special, but then we never got him. You know, he does come out in this new movie looking big and massive. I love the design of him. At first I didn't know how to feel about the whole big, you know, design of Groot, him being so muscular and actually huge. Let's go ahead and put his arms down, have him looking forward. He was just a massive difference from what we've seen with the other Groots. Of course, we had Teen Groot, we had Baby Groot, and we had the original Groot. And the original Groot was tall, but he was a lot skinnier. So seeing him all big and built, it's amazing. I'm liking this design overall. This figure was the one I saw and I was like, I have to have. I've been messing around with them, putting a bunch of different poses, kind of tinkering with them. I cannot put this figure down. I keep picking him up. Let's go and take a closer look into the design wise, into how he looks with him. As you can see, I gotta like bend his legs forward just to keep him in frame. With his head and everything, he has that little bit of green around his body, you know, that moss and, you know, green texture even on his arms, showing his like little branches branching off here. On the back you can see the same thing, that little bit of green, that little branches breaking off here, and even continues into the legs with all the green. He does have like those elephant feet that's just kind of flat, similar to we've seen him before. I do like the color and everything. On the camera he looks a little bit lighter than he does in person. In person his color is a little bit darker than what I've been used to with seeing the Groot figures. He's not as dark as the one that we've seen with the Toys R Us exclusive. I'm put on this side. He's not as close to being that dark, but he's not as light as the Evolution one from Toys R Us. I'm put right here as well, since I don't own that figure. But overall I do like this Groot. Let's go and get into the accessories, show what you are being, you know, getting with this figure. Right, for accessories for Groot, we do have these wings. I'm not too sure if he can fly with them or they're supposed to have him like glide, but we do have these wings that they come with them. These wings, they come separate. Let me go ahead and separate them. As you can see, it just ports in. You have this piece that ports into the back. You just grab this one and just simply put it in like that. The wings are really nice. It doesn't have that much detail compared to the actual figure. It looks a little bland. Could have done a little bit more wash with it, even with the back side too. Besides the wings, he does also have these interchangeable hands of fists, and he also does go ahead and have open hands. He also did come with this baby rocket. Let me go ahead and grab him. This little baby raccoon. I said rocket earlier, but just because I was assuming. But he does have this baby raccoon that he does come with. Not that much detail on it. It's a little statue. I'm not too sure why he comes with it, but I will find out in the movie. I would have hoped for kind of like gun wielding hands, just because if we've seen in the picture I'm putting up in the on the screen right now, there's a scene where him and Quill in the trailer are back to back and he's shooting guns. I would have been really happy to be able to recreate that scene, but unfortunately he doesn't come with guns or gun shooting hands. But can't complain either, because he does come with quite a bit of accessories: the two fisted hands, the two wide open hands, and then these wings. Go ahead and get into articulation. With the head itself, you can go ahead and get him looking forward, up that much, get him looking down that much. With his arms, you can go ahead and get him lifted up that much, which I thought was gonna be an issue since he has this flap, but similar to how they do with the Iron Man's, where it just kind of moves up. He does have the bicep swivel. He has a single jointed elbow. He does have the hinge here to go forward, back, with no issues. And then when it does come to the left arm, it's the same thing. Towards the body, he can go ahead and crunch forward. Not at all with this Groot, can't crunch him forward at all. Backwards a little bit, but not that much. No waist cut or anything like that. With his legs, he can go ahead and kick out that far. He can go ahead and move back, not at all. With the legs, you can go ahead and bend in it that far. And with his ankle, with his feet, you can go ahead and move that far back, that far forward, and he does have ankle pivot. Overall, it may seem limiting with this Groot, with his actual articulation, but I think it's great. I've had no issues posing him in poses I want to. Not many poses that I'm thinking of that would be too hard for you to get with this figure. Overall, I do like the design of him, like everything about it. Like I mentioned, the only thing I would have wanted was the gun holding hands, just so I can have that scene where he's like this and he's with back to back with Quill and they're shooting together. That's one thing I would have loved to recreate, but unfortunately will not be able to go ahead and do so. But overall, the Groot figure is amazing. I'll go and get into size comparison, everything like that, but let me go and show you how this figure does look like with his wings. Let me go ahead, they just poured into this hole in the back. And there we go. And the wings are kind of massive, as you can see lengthwise. To go ahead, I'm gonna bring out the size comparison ones just so we can see them next to each other and see the difference of how tall he is and how wide those wings are. As you can see, he is very tall, just kind of towering over everyone else here. For a size comparison, I do have Quill, since I mentioned I want to do that back-to-back shot. And then I do have Drax, since he's one of the bigger figures. I want to show you how tall Groot actually is. And of course, we can never forget about Rocket. Of course, Rocket is majority of the time. When we originally saw him, he was hanging off of Groot's shoulders, similar to like this. So I just thought it would be a great thing to see how tall Rocket is around him, messing around with it. I'm not too sure what the wings are for, but as you can see, it is wingspan of two figures. So overall, this is the size comparison of Groot with Star-Lord, Rocket, and Drax. I'm not too sure how tall he is, but if I had to take a rough estimate, I would want to say he's around 7 inches to around the 7.5, but that is the size comparison of these three. For another size comparison, we do got my Groots I currently have in my collection. We do got little baby Groot over here from volume 2. This was one of my first custom figures. I didn't like the eyes, so I tried to paint them all solid black. There's some bleeding there, but overall I still like him a lot. I'm gonna go and try to place him here, standing next to Big Groot. And then we do got the Teen Groot. Overall, I did like the design of Groot. I liked how, even though he was getting taller, he was having a similar build to his older version, or I guess you can consider him his dad. I don't know how it is broken down technically in the MCU. As you can see that he is a lighter color than this new Groot, and it's more apparent in person than over camera. Over camera, they look very, he doesn't look as dark as he actually is. As you can see, their green is matching up similar to how they were previously. The only difference I'm seeing is on this Groot is that he has those little flowers or plants growing out of his head that this older Groot doesn't. Overall, that's the size comparison between these Groots. I do know the evolution one is about like this tall. Don't have him in my collection. Hopefully I can go ahead and get him soon and, you know, add him to my Groot collection. But this is a size comparison of Groots. To get my final thoughts with this Groot, I truly believe he should have been the Build-A-Figure, not the Cosmo. I think overall, having him as a Build-A-Figure, a lot more people would have enjoyed it and actually been more willing to actually buy the figures in the line, with those ones that are not really, you know, the ones are fan favorites, such as Adam Warlock or Kraggle in my, what's his name? I slipped his out my mind, but I think he would have helped them, you know, be a little bit more wanted, since they Build-A-Figure piece would have been required in order to build him, but they just released him by himself. I'm glad to see that they gave him the wings and, you know, interchangeable hands. Overall, I like this figure. Just to kind of show you the Groot with the raccoon that he came with. Not too sure why they gave him it. Hopefully they will explain it in the actual movie and it will make sense. But here is Groot with the raccoon. Overall, I like this figure. I think if you have an opportunity to pick him up, do it. He only costs about like 30 bucks, which I think is perfectly reasonable for a figure this big and, you know, a fan favorite like Groot himself. I wonder if we are going to have him in this form for long periods of time, like if this is going to be the definitive Groot form that we see, or possibly he's going to get taller like how he was in the first movie, or possibly, you know, get a little more bulkier, have more like little strands of like branches hanging off, or he maybe will have green around him more, like similar to how you're seeing it now. Maybe he will have more green around the body all around. But overall, I am really liking this Groot. This figure is a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. He is almost as tall as my Build-A-Figure Endgame Hulk, Professor Hulk. If that's a reference, I don't have him here with me, but if you want to like kind of have a size comparison, he's just a little bit shorter. I believe the Hulk is like that much taller. Overall, if you have an opportunity to get this figure, I would do it. But that's going to bring this figure review to a end. Once again, this is Groot from the volume 3. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if anything I can improve on. I'm going to try to keep bringing videos out more and more, possibly through Throwback Thursday videos where I go back and review previous Marvel Legends figures that I never had an opportunity to, since I started a little late for the Marvel Legends line. Besides that, I might do I'm planning to do the Ant-Man wave. I'm gonna do all the figures in that wave, since it does include Marvel MCU figures. I'm mainly just an MCU figure collector, so I'll be mainly just doing reviews on those. But there will be some rare examples of me doing other ones like SH Figure Arts, or you know, DC Multiverse, Mesco. All those I will go ahead and eventually dabble into, but at the moment I'm going to be sticking with Marvel Legends. So if you have any questions about Marvel Legends figures, wondering if you should pick them up or not, you can go ahead and just subscribe here, and I'll go ahead and let you know what I think of these figures and if you should go ahead and pick them up. Once again, just mainly MCU Marvel Legends is what I'll have. Maybe I'll go ahead and dabble into the comic ones down the line more once I do finish my complete collection of all the MCU ones. But at the moment, if you do have watched the video up to this point, I do very much appreciate it. Once again, I'm gonna be trying to put out Throwback Thursday videos every Thursday of every week until I end up, you know, running out figures to go ahead and review. But once again, this is Groot Volume 3. You guys have yourself a great day, and thank you for watching today's video.